Welcome, everybody, to The Expendable Show. I'm your host, The Expendable. With me, as always, the lovely Oprah Winfrey. Just kidding, it's Shauna. She just got back from I'm not going to say it. Shauna's just going to yell at me. But I'm wearing my headband on today because it's about to go down. And I got to be Rambo'd up and ready to go. Because it's serious. It's super serial. Like Man, Bear, Pig, super serial, Al Gore. So we're going to talk about some things today, but first let's get to business. If you like my show, like, subscribe, and ding the bell. It helps the show grow. And I like growing, even though I stopped growing when I was in like 5th grade. I don't understand why happened, but that's what happened. Also, for those of you who don't know any better, you're about to learn. You're about to learn today. Here's my book that just came out. We released it October 31st on Halloween. Also, the anniversary of my former marriage. So I had to replace it with my book. So bring something happy to something bad. Also, my second book, From the Mouth, we're going to talk about that one a little bit today as I'm having like this Nostradamus moment. But anyway, The Swift Effect, available at Barnes & Noble and Amazon. And I think it's on, it's on Google Books and probably more places. I just found out today it's being sold in Germany and India too. So I'm going to be famous in Germany and India. Hopefully. My friend that I graduated high school with, she was a German exchange student. And she's back in Germany, has a successful life, blah, blah, blah. She said that she found my book in Germany. So I thought that was pretty exciting. And so go buy my book. Try to get on the New York Times bestseller list. So that way nobody can censor me anymore. I don't know if it works like that. I'll probably still get censored, but still.
You get censored because you're inappropriate.
I'm not inappropriate. I just keeps it real. Keeping it real is different. Some people just don't like hearing the truth because you can't handle the truth, especially you, Shauna. You can't handle it.
All right, moving on.
All right, so let's talk about what's going on over in Ukraine and Russia. Things have escalated exponentially. So I'm going to kind of go through the timeline of what happened. So 3 days ago, Joe Biden authorized Ukraine to fire long-range missiles into Russia. And when that first happened, the media kept coming out and saying, "Oh, this is a real good, show of force, and it'll set Trump up going into his administration. He's got another negotiation tool." And I remember we talked about this I think it was on Sunday's podcast. Like, what do you think, the Ukraine's not going to shoot those off when they've got permission to shoot them? Well, it took them 2 days to shoot those off. So they did. They fired these ballistic missiles, 6 of them. Russia shot down 5 of them. 1 of them hit, but news reports are saying it didn't hit anything significant. But still, they shot them off into Russian territory with long-range ballistic missiles. That's saying something. Today, The Guardian, they reported that Ukraine has fired 12 English Storm Shadow long-range missiles into Russia. So I haven't heard yet what the damage of that is, but that's 18 long-range missiles. So we're going to have a problem. They're saying that it's a response to the 10,000 North Korean troops sitting on the Russia-Ukraine border. I have a different theory, and we're going to cover that here in a second. So also in the Baltic Sea, a Chinese like tanker ship drug its anchor and wiped out a bunch of communication cables under the ocean. Ironically, is it ironic or not? I almost started singing Alanis Morissette songs there for a second. I had to stop myself because it wouldn't have been pretty. Plus, I don't sing the Alanis Morissette songs. So that these things are happening. We're seeing a succession of things consecutively happening. To me, it's escalation. Russia is saying this is escalation. Everybody's starting to panic a little bit. The Estonian president, he came out and said the United Nations needs to start getting some troops over into Ukraine, like ASAP. So they know something's coming. Even though before the missiles got shot off, Russia's been calling for peace talks. I think they've asked for it about 4 times now. And the Ukraine keeps telling them no. Why do they keep telling them no? Well, if everybody in the world keeps giving them money, why would you want to stop? Nobody's directly firing missiles at Kiev. So Zelensky can sit in his pretty little palace and watch all these people on the central and eastern part of the Ukraine get bombed on, while he sits in there and collects and swims in his money. That ain't right. That ain't right. This dude's running a scam, and we need to continue. Like, I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt at one point, but now I can't, because too many people are dying over there, and he just doesn't seem to give a shit. He could at least make an effort to send a diplomat to meet with Putin's diplomat somewhere to start to work this thing out, but that's not happening. And you're not seeing anything out of the Biden administration. Well, now they've enabled this to get worse. And to me, this is starting to add up. So now after the missile strike, Putin has now said, yeah, we're not really interested in negotiating anymore. So you know this is about to get worse. Things are about to escalate and get bad. So what did Putin do? So he went and he revised his nuclear doctrine and lowered the threshold. So what that means is Putin's basically gone in and reworked their war laws and said, hey, it's not going to take nearly as much for me to nuke somebody now. And so now their law reflects where they're a little bit going to be a little bit more trigger happy on that. So Russia believes that Ukraine has about 50 long-range missiles sitting over there that's left. So, maybe they don't use them, maybe they do. I'm not sure. I don't like it. I think something needs to be done. So while I was researching the show today, I came across something that I found very, very interesting, that I think that it all kind of comes together as to tell the full story. So September 6th, which is the day after Donald Trump was elected president, the Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin, issued a fact sheet on efforts of Ukraine defense contract groups. So this is like their national armament directors, like what all the plan is, what countries are going to do what, how many they're going to make, when do they have to have it done by. So this is the plan. Here's the plan. And so as I was reading through this, I was like, holy cow. Everybody's involved. Everybody in Europe. So they brag about their significant achievements. They've sent $5.3 billion more to invest into defenses for the Ukraine. They're going to be making 155 millimeter projectiles, like 14,000 per month. They're increasing 14,000 a month to 40,000 a month, which is a 178% increase. Why would there be a need to increase your 155 millimeter shells 178%? So that's disturbing. And there's more. The javelins, they're going to increase those 14%. So they're going to start making 200 a month. It keeps going on. The AIM 9X, 18% increase. The M777s, 64%. So now you've got France and Sweden. They're going to double their ammunition and explosive capacity by 2025. Germany, Spain, Hungary, and South Africa and Australia, they're going to increase their production from 700,000 artillery shells to 10,000 tons of gunpowder per year. But he still does have, Colin made a point. He said Putin's making more and more threats because he's running out of options. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think China's got his back. I think Brazil has his back. I think the BRICS nations were created for this. And so I don't think he's out of options. I think he has options. I think he's trying not to use them. Obviously, war is not good for anybody. Right now, just with the threat of war, the ruble, which when Donald Trump was president, the ruble was trading for about $68 a share. Now with Biden, where we're at today, I just looked today. I check that stuff every day. The ruble is sitting at $100 per share right now. So Biden's almost doubled the value of the ruble. Putin's got money. This is the richest Russia's ever been. So I don't think they're running out of options. I think our media wants us to think that they're running out of options, so we'll keep funding money to Ukraine. Well, finish them off, guys. Here's $20 billion more dollars. I think Russia hasn't even started. I think they've just been poking. That's my opinion. But I tend to watch the news from like 7 different continents. So I try to kind of piece together everybody's fake stories to try to hopefully make one story that makes sense. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. I don't know for sure. A country's generally not going to tip their hand. They're not going to tell you everything they got. So Germany, the Netherlands, Romania, and Spain, they're going to co-produce up to 1,000 Patriot missiles in Germany. It just seems like there's a lot getting made. The Czech Republic, they're making 1.7 billion euros for 500,000 artillery rounds. You have people from all over. Norway's doing the Knock 1, whatever that is. It's some kind of artillery they make. And I can just keep going and going and going. And there's so many things getting made. And I compared this to Israel's little fact sheet, and theirs isn't anything close to what's getting made for Ukraine. That's earmarked for Ukraine. And the thing is when we're talking about these things, so Sweden's not going to make most of these things. They're going to take the money that their taxpayers get, and they're going to give it to defense contractors. So here's my theory on why this is happening. Yeah, Colin said the nuclear option is a lose-lose situation, and it absolutely is. I watched a simulation of what would happen if Russia fired off one nuclear warhead, and it will turn the northern hemisphere into a nuclear winter. I think they said for like 40 years or something like that. Like we can't nuclear options can't happen. We got to figure this out. Right now, our dumbass president doesn't want to figure anything out. He's just out there making shit worse. That was a horrible, horrible thing. But here's what happens. These countries are not making most of their munitions. They're contracting it out to Boeing, to Lockheed Martin, to Raytheon, to General Dynamics, all of the great arms makers of the world, which are here in the United States. That's who's going to be making all these things. So we have to understand that this money, that this whole report that I'm talking about is a money funneling system for the defense contractors. Now, we all know who runs the defense contractors. So if you go read my book, The Swiss Effect, I have mapped all this out already to where the defense contractors are controlled by these people and that are controlled by these people. And this is all Europe. This is Europe's plan. And we just have the most money. And we're going to fall right into this trap to keep the defense contractors paid because Joe Biden's promised them a war that they would make billions and billions and billions of dollars off of. If Trump comes into office and says, I'm making a peace deal, period, you guys are going to like it, but too bad. Guess who loses billions and billions of dollars? The defense contractors. So this is a big money game that we're playing right now. And this doesn't have anything to do with Ukraine independence or Russian invasions. This has everything to do with funneling money. And technically, this goes all the way back to like 1990. I was watching, what's his name? Frank Sox from Goldman Sachs. He was talking all about it. Like, we started this war in 1990. And we've just escalated. We've continued to manipulate the Ukrainian government. And so when I sat there and I listened to him speak about it, I was like, holy shit. We are the problem in this situation. Our government is the problem because we're greedy. And we've poked Russia when Russia wasn't bothering nobody until Barack Obama sent CIA into the Ukraine and started a coup. Well, then Putin kind of let that slide because he ended up getting the Crimean Peninsula out of that, which is a huge military strategic advantage for Russia to have that port. So that was a good move. Well, then down the line, Biden wants to keep his money cash cow going because he's got all these backdoor deals with Ukraine. And so he's pretty much running that show. And his handlers and Barry Soetoro and some of those clowns, probably Big Mike, and some of those people. See, that's how I know Shauna's not paying attention because I say Big Mike, usually she gets mad. But she ain't getting mad at me.
I'm not defining it with a response today.
That means I win.
Yeah, in your little mind it does.
But either way, this is going to be a disaster. They want this war to continue. Everything I've seen, all these little pieces that I've started to put together, this war is going to continue into Trump's administration, probably deep into Trump's administration. They're going to create so much chaos in such a short amount of time because they've only got until, January 20th, the inauguration, and then Trump puts a stop to it. But if they create enough chaos, Trump's going to spend the next 4 years cleaning up that chaos. It's going to keep him busy, and he's not going to be able to get all of the things he wants to get done. However, I think Trump is probably when you look and see everything from 8 years ago, I firmly believe that Donald Trump is one of the smartest individuals in the world, strategically speaking. He is always ahead of his opponents all the time. And, the European establishment, the oligarchs, every country, our own corrupt government, he's ahead of everybody all the time. And it's so impressive because every time I'm like, oh, he might be in trouble this time, he's already been ahead of it. They try to take his money in the whole New York thing. Well, then the next day, he publicly he gets an IPO for Truth Social worth $10 billion. Like that was so brilliant when that happened. And Donald Trump's ahead of this too. I think that's why his cabinet looks like what it does, is because he knows this is going to be a fight and he's got to have the right people in the right places to get things done so he doesn't have to micromanage every department. So his loyalists are there to do that for him. And I think it's brilliant. I think Donald Trump's going to go down in history as one of the smartest presidents we've ever had, strategically speaking. They want to say that he's one of the worst presidents ever. That's what the liberals do. I think they put him at 50th. He's ranked 47th or 46th or something like that. I think he's 46th. They have him dead last, just because I hate for the guy. And they label him worse as Richard Nixon, which is ridiculous. But hey, the Sarge is in the house. All right, so here we go. We got the Air Force and the Marine Corps in here now. Where's the Canadians at?
Hey, Sarge.
So as we continue, the issues are going to be paramount, but I think Donald Trump is so far ahead. Lloyd Austin needs to go to jail. Lloyd Austin, Mayorkas, Merrick Garland, all them clowns need to go to jail. Crayon eaters. Yep, they're all crayon eaters. See, Sarge knows what's up. They're crayon eaters. I think I was a crayon eater when I was in my younger years. Probably.
Why am I not surprised? or were you the kid that sniffed the markers? Either way, it's pretty sad.
No, but I did eat my mom's chapstick. Like, she always had the flavored chapsticks, and I always thought it was candy for some reason. But that's what I did. I think my brother ate it more, if I remember correctly. He's probably going to fact check me in a lie. So everybody pay attention to the Russia situation. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. I think Biden is going to continually trying to instigate that escalates over there. And that's not going to be good for the Americans. Not going to be good for us. I feel bad. I think we're going to have boots on the ground eventually before inauguration. I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but I just feel like they're taking steps towards it. So also news today, Laken Riley's but Laken Riley's the guy who murdered her is sentenced, or he was found guilty today by a jury of his peers, and he's probably going to do, I don't know if Georgia has the death penalty, but that's that. They need to make an example out of him. So that was some big news today. You're hearing like all these. I saw so much ignorant shit about that case on Twitter today. You know, trying to, well, she was deserving of it. Like, come on, man, are we not human beings anymore? What woman deserves to be murdered while she's out jogging on a college campus? Nobody. Where's all the women's rights groups and all the feminists sticking up for her? You don't see them anywhere. They ain't doing shit. But before we move on to my next segment, so when I wrote From the Mouth in 2022, I wrote the book because we were all being censored back then. If you were a conservative, you were getting censored. Yeah, we did cover that one already, Sarge. The 12 long-range missiles that they fired. So we did get to that one. But when I wrote that book, I wanted my own platform to be heard. I thought, you know what, if I write a book, I can get people to listen to me because people will read books. And they did. I sold a few books. And, a lot of people, liked my perspective from an average Joe. And so when I'm sitting here thinking about the election, yeah. I did see that too. I'm glad you brought that up, Sarge. But yes, they did summon Elon Musk to the parliament to talk about his misinformation in the United Kingdom. I think Elon Musk is probably going to give him the finger and walk away. I don't think they can. He's got fuck you money. And he don't have to listen to nobody. We ain't listening to stupid ass England. But So when I wrote the book, I wanted to make sure that my voice was heard, and I wanted to make sure that I put some thoughts together from people that I had talked to in the working class community. You know, what are our issues? What are things that matter? And let's build this book around it. And so I did. And I feel like if Kamala Harris's campaign, the book is pretty much what Donald Trump ran his campaign on. I'm not saying that my book affected him. It did. He probably never even heard of it. But what I am saying is that proves that Donald Trump had his ear to the ground and he understood what the American people need. Where if a liberal would have just picked up my book and read it, and they would have said, so this is what the American average Joes want? Well, we could do that. But instead they went the elitist route and it cost them. Where Donald Trump stuck to working class problems with working class solutions, and he won. Simple as that. So, women's lives matter? Yeah, we need to. Because, now we've got a transgender congressman in there, and she's mad because she can't use the women's bathroom. Like, come on now. Are you? What you know what they need to these liberals got to realize, like, it's the Republicans run the show, so you might as well just forget about all that woke shit. Go put it on pause for 4 years until your next dumbass tries to run for president, like Gavin Newsom. So, just get with the program, because it ain't gonna. And this is woke stuff's not gonna work out for you. So what they're trying to prevent with the Biden administration, not only do they want to keep the Ukraine war going, but they want to prevent Donald Trump from purging socialists. And that's what he's doing. Everything that he's doing is purging the socialist movement out of the United States. And he's going after the big hitters, but he's going to have to go after the Europeans that are funding these people. Otherwise, we're not going to get anywhere. I mean, he'll knock them down, but he's not going to eliminate it, and that's a big thing. So moving on, I want to talk about two of Trump's appointees that just came up in the last day. So he has announced his nominee for the Department of Education is Linda McMahon. Shauna, you were talking to our maintenance manager today about that, and I thought that was so it made me go, let's look into Linda McMahon and let's throw this out there, because the media is going to say, why would she be in charge of the Department of Education? She's just a wrestler. She's just married to entertainment. And okay, yeah, that's true, but there's more to Linda McMahon than what the media is telling you right now. For one, she's already worked in Trump's administration once. The media is not reminding you of that. She was the administrator of the Small Business Administration from 2017 to 2019. I have not looked into him, Sarge, the Alaska guy. Is that what you're talking about? The guy from Alaska for the ATF? You're right. You're right. Also, Sarge, they're calling. Oh, yeah. But they do. They call Donald Trump a felon, and he's not even classified as a felon in the state of New York. In order to be an actual convicted felon, your sentence has to be issued. And Donald Trump is at that point where he's been convicted, but he hasn't been issued his sentence. So in the meantime, what people don't realize is in the state of New York, the judge can come in and act as the 13th juror and say, nope, I'm throwing this out. So I think that's going to happen. I absolutely think that's going to happen. At first I was like, Oh yeah, he did. Did he drop the charges? I might have to get back on board with that. I stopped paying attention to Trump's legal problems because I figured nothing was going to happen until after he's elected, even though half the people that are trying to convict him are going to be in jail by then. Colin, you're right. It's definitely feeding into the disease brain. It's, man, the whole liberal movement's a disease brain right now. Like I feel like I should do one of my psych shows on Trump derangement syndrome and just break it down as to what is their deep rooted issues. I already know. It's for when people shoved them in lockers when they were in high school. I already know. That's why Shauna acts like she does, because somebody stuffed her tiny
You better
self in
shut
the
up.
That's why she's got Napoleon syndrome really bad. She like assaults me at work all the time, and she tells me that I better keep my mouth shut. That's what she does all the time. But let's break down Linda McMahon real quick. You guys get me on some good topics today in the comments today. I like that. We got a lot going on there. So Linda McMahon. So she was an administrator in the Small Business Administration during Trump's first term. She was on the State Board of Education in Connecticut in 2009. She has a bachelor's degree in French. So, I mean, this woman's not stupid. She's not just some, beer drinking, hit me over the head with the trash can wrestling wife. This woman's an educated woman. She's been in politics. She's done these things. She's had so many, charities that she donates to, organizations she's part of. This woman does a lot of stuff. Yeah, you know what? The WWE does have some controversy surrounding it amongst the trafficking rings, but no one's been arrested and nobody's been found guilty yet. So, and if they're going to arrest her, or arrest her husband, they'd have to arrest The Rock too, because The Rock is named in those situations. So that's why I think nothing's going to happen to that, because they're not going to want The Rock to do it. If you smell what I'm cooking. You get that? Do you get that, Shauna? If you smell what The Rock's cooking? No.
You said what? I'm
See,
sorry.
I say
I just
jokes.
seen somebody almost crash off the road, so I was slightly distracted. What did you say?
Well, it's not funny no more. I'm not going to repeat it. Well, I mean, it wasn't really funny the
Okay.
first time.
Well, how about this? Kiss my ass. So there we go. That's in response to whatever.
That's fair. So also the next one. So Linda McMahon is a good candidate. She's going to do a good job in the Department of Education. For one, what she needs to do is go toe to toe with the teachers' unions and put them in their place. Because Randy Weingarten, she is a super commie, and they got to get rid of her. You know what? The teachers could get so much further in what they want if they didn't have her as their union rep. It's a horrible. She's the union president. They got to get rid of her. She's bad for America. They need to get her out of this country. Period. She was a CIA asset on behalf of Ukraine a few years back. Send her ass to the Ukraine. Let her commie up their education. That's why our education system's broke. It's because of one person, her. Go research it. She's a horrible human being. And you can't even troll her on Twitter because she blocks all the responses, so only her followers or the people she follows can respond. So she's only got like 10 people she follows. So that's not even fair. Like, I want to troll her so bad on Twitter, but I can't. So I got to stick with the same old ones. The boring ones. Harry Sisson and them guys. And Luke Skywalker. I troll Luke Skywalker too. But the next one, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Trump has nominated Dr. Oz, Mehmet Oz. I'm good with this one. the liberal media keeps saying, oh, he keeps appointing all of these TV personalities. This is like season 2 of The Apprentice. Okay, I get it. You guys watch TV and you think all they can do is be on TV. Dr. Oz is a very, very highly acclaimed doctor. So I went and dug up into his background. So he's a Columbia. He did his residency at Columbia University at their Presbyterian Hospital. He did a successful heart transplant on the New York Yankees coach Joe Torre's brother, Frank. He opened the Cardiovascular Institute of Integrative Medicine. He was the professor at Columbia. Like, this guy's done it. He's on all these boards and all this stuff. But then when he ran for senator and started to lean more towards the Republicans and started supporting Trump, Columbia kicked him out of everything. So that just tells you how, like, they would rather take one of the best doctors in their school, kick him out in favor of stupid political shit. That's dumb. Like, that's just how ignorant they are. Oh yeah, my dad brought up a good point. That Dr. Oz, he will work hand in hand a lot of times with RFK. So I like that. Look, you take this doctor who's esteemed and prestigious, and he's got to look out for the best interests of Medicare and Medicaid, which is highly important programs. And I know all you liberals are going to go, huh, those are socialist programs. Well, you got to have them. You got to have them. You can't, it's not socialist by choice. You have to have those programs. For one, you can't have, like, old people deserve to retire. Old people cannot afford the inflation based upon the lack of pay raises that keep up with inflation with their Social Security checks. And if they didn't invest into other things during their lifetime, they're not going to have that backup money to keep them afloat and to pay for their own private medical insurance. So they're going to need Medicaid. And then people who go through hard times, you have to have Medicaid. Medicare is the other one. Medicaid, you have to have Medicaid for people who are going through tough times. You have to have Medicaid for single moms living in big cities that have unaffordable housing and unaffordable everything. You have to have those programs to help people. The thing is, though, is you eventually want to get them off of it. And how you do that? By giving them opportunities to increase the quality of their life. Give them better job opportunities. And Trump knows how to do this thing. That's why our unemployment went down to super low rates when he was president, because he knows how to take care of the small businesses. He knows how to get people to go back to work. So I don't have any issues with that. So the point, and that's something that Dr. Oz is going to have to do. He's going to have to look at the standard of what people qualify for in those programs, and decide, is this good for America, or do I need to dial it back, or do I need to add more, or do I need to ask for more federal funding? So, Dr. Oz is going to be in charge of that, and he's going to be looking at these programs and getting with RFK, and they're going to come up with these solutions. And RFK is already full of solutions. He just needs to step foot in his office and get to work. So that's going to be a good combination there, I think. I'm excited about that. So Sarge talking about the blue butterfly place, blue butterfly. I think it's dumb. That's what the liberals are like. We're leaving Twitter. We're going to blue butterfly. Okay, soy boy, have a good time. I hope you enjoy your safe space. We wouldn't want you to get stuck in a locker over here in Twitter. Right, Shauna? Shauna's a Twitter warrior. She's on there starting fights all the time. No, she don't care. She don't care. She's a troublemaker. But So I was even sitting there thinking when I first heard about the blue butterfly, I was like, man, should I just like every day just keep posting like conservatives go sign up for blue butterfly so we can invade that? We've pretty much invaded them out of every social media platform. You know, they were running TikTok, but you don't see hardly any liberal TikTok stuff on there. At least maybe the algorithm separates people so they don't see each other's stuff to keep conflicts from happening. Because I usually don't run into too many liberals on TikTok anymore. So I'm guessing they probably left. It is. That's what their logo. Their logo is a blue butterfly. Now, I've been calling it blue butterfly too, so I don't know what it's called. It's not even really relevant. It'll probably go bankrupt. But it's their safe space. I'm definitely going to do a psych show on how these liberals are like mentally. I don't want to say it right, wrong word. They got some issues. There's a lot of issues floating around out there. Like the psychosis that I'm seeing is intense. Like they're shaving their heads and banning men, and it don't even matter if you're a liberal, man. They ain't messing with you. Where's Rob? Colin, where's Rob? I knew I was missing somebody in the crowd.
They don't like to be on Twitter because they get fact checked all the time.
You get fact checked on Twitter?
No, not me. I'm talking about the liberals do. That's why you don't see them on Twitter anymore.
Oh yeah, they get community notes put on them all the time. I see that a lot. Elon ain't playing. Elon's ending all that. Yeah, I saw that too, Sarge. Where so they think that they're getting over on Elon Musk by leaving X. They ain't going. Elon don't need all that. He didn't buy X to get rich. He said it a million times. And then the Starship that was, I believe it was supposed to land in the ocean. I believe he was supposed to set it down in the ocean, and they did. And the liberals were just like, oh, look at Elon. He's not so smart, is he? He's crashing his rockets in the ocean. Whatever. How about you go make a rocket? How about that? Can you make a rocket? No. Joe Scarborough, can you make a rocket? No. You had to go to Mar-a-Lago and beg Trump to not throw you in jail yesterday. Yeah, that's what I thought, Sarge, is that the rocket landed exactly where Elon Musk said it was going to go. It's just certain coordinates in the ocean. And they had like stuff there waiting on it, like to get it out of the ocean. So these guys are idiots. They lie every step of the way to try to get you to get, well, not us, because they know we don't buy it, but they try to get their followers, like their fires continually lit. Every time the liberals start to calm down a little bit, then they'll throw some more. You know, we'll put some Nazis in masks and march around rich parts of Columbus and remind everybody how much that Trump's a Nazi. But come on, man. We ain't falling for that. Your little psyops. But that's pretty much, the whole Trump's cabinet's coming together nicely. Now I don't know. There's a little bit of infighting amongst the Republicans as to whether or not they're going to let Matt Gaetz in. They're waiting on this ethics investigation, which I kind of. That's why I said on the last show, I like Gaetz, but I don't want Gaetz to be a distraction. I feel like that's starting to happen. And we were talking about that today too, Sean, weren't we? Like, what do we think of Matt Gaetz? And, the guy's outspoken. I think he'll do a great job as an attorney general. but I don't want to keep hearing about his trafficking case.
They've already started saying like, oh, well, he has several allegations against him. It's already started. It's only been what, 48 hours?
Well, they did that with Pete Hegseth too, and there's not that dude's straight as an arrow, man. Yeah, he did have an affair on his wife. Pete
Like
Hegseth
most
is a
men.
military.
Sure.
He's a military guy. You know, not
Yeah.
saying that all I'm not saying all military guys cheat on their spouses, but
Yeah, they do. But okay.
but when you
It's okay.
when you
It's
go
a two-way
through,
street. The wives cheat
yeah,
on
but,
them too, so it doesn't
oh,
matter.
that's true. That probably happens more common than not, more common than the other way.
Especially to the ones who deploy a lot. Yeah, their wives
Yeah,
are constantly busy. So that's like it's either way.
I mean, it's just easy for the guys because it's, women love men in uniforms. So it's easy for them to get caught up into the cheating world. Pete Hegseth's the human.
No, they love the
Women,
thought that they're going to get money. That's the whole thing. All these women think that men in the military make money, and it's just like no, majority of them broke. So you don't find that part out till later, though.
women don't chase men for money, Shauna. That's a myth.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. They're going on a 4-year sex hiatus and shaving their heads. You're absolutely right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they don't need men. They don't need men's money. They just need their bathrooms, and vice versa. But that is pretty much the show for today. I wanted to get that Russia stuff out there because I think it's going to get bad. I think we're going to see some bad stuff. Whether it's, I think NATO is going to get involved here pretty soon. That's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope everybody just chills and says, well, Trump, why don't you we're just going to try to stalemate this for a while until you get into office, then you can figure out what you're going to do. That's what needs to happen. So, but that is the show for today. Thanks, guys, for jumping in the comment section today. You guys came with the facts today. I'm still working on when I'm going to do it. I got a lot of stuff on my plate up down here. Can't just leave right now.
Sarge, you need to go on tour with him. Just go with him.
He would. I might need some security. I'm getting like Kevin Sorbo famous.
Oh my God! Here we go.
Somebody told me I was Danny Bonaducci famous the other day.
Oh my God! Sarge said, "Is he paying?" We'll talk about it, Sarge. We'll talk.
Yeah, Shauna's the publicist, so you got to negotiate with her.
It's always room for negotiations.
Yeah, that's why we negotiated that you're doing it for free.
Who's doing what for free?
You're going to be the publicist for free.
No, absolutely not. Say it again, Sarge. We cannot afford to not get paid. Absolutely right. Come here. Let's put your pull-up on.
No loyalty.
Loyalty doesn't have nothing to do with it.
I'm pretty sure. I think my brother said he would pay everybody. We can run it by him.
We don't care who's paying as long as the check clears.
All right. But that's our day. That's our expendable show for today. Shauna, now you want to talk. Now you want to talk on the show.
Okay, guys.
Everybody be safe. Watch out for rockets, and watch out for El Tren de Aragua, and keep your kids safe. All right, I'm out. Peace. Here we go. My missing cursor. Can't find it.